The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're building or buying or selling a home, the real estate crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Welcome and thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party. This is a little bit louder, but I guess we had to get Kathy's modulator up a little bit.
I feel like we have a ton of energy, positive energy today.
Yeah. And we got Jason here from Saugus Karate.
I'm so excited to talk to Jason.
Jason, I never warned you, but Kathy always seems to adopt whatever guest. Am I right about
Yes.
that? Whatever guest we have.
and-
If we bring a stage on, she needs to bring the stage home to fix out.
Yes.
And organize. She needs her.
She's going to take karate now.
You're right,
Sure.
exactly. So now she's going to take karate as self-defense.
She's not dangerous enough.
That's what I'm here
No,
for.
actually, my mouth probably is my
that's
first line of defense.
Yeah,
right?
but that might get you in a little bit of trouble too, I have a feeling. I think, yeah, exactly. So, Jason, we didn't know you, and you're also a broker too, so this is a nice tie-in.
Agent. I have my real estate
I know I always say that.
Agent.
Yeah. So we have your card here, so let's review this. We buy houses, no hassle, sell fast, any condition, cash buyers.
Nice.
So, Jason, so at the end of the show, we're going to ask you for your phone numbers for all your different businesses, and we'll see how much you like this show.
Because some people lie.
Some people won't give out their phone number. They disavow any knowledge of the show.
And you think we can remember the first guy that did it to us was the credit guy.
Yeah.
And he did not want to give it.
He didn't want to give it. No.
And the second one was Joan Lepore.
Yeah, she didn't want anything to do with this either.
Joan Lepore wouldn't call me back.
Was that
the bubble?
The bubble.
lady.
The human bubble.
You know, it's a completely viable way to
Jason's
treat
taking
old
his headphone
people.
set off, and he's. I thought it was a great idea. To be
It
honest
is a
with you.
good idea.
I don't know that Joan thought it was all that funny.
I know.
Well, she should lighten up then.
Rick goes, I don't know why Joan hasn't called me back. And I go, well, you guys may have taken it like a half a step too far.
No such thing.
Not with you.
Not with me.
And then when you give him,
that isn't true. It was a full step.
So anyway, I'm so excited that Jason's
How does this tie into?
Oh, we're gonna
not
tell
that
you.
I care.
No.
I didn't pick today to start caring. I just want to know how
All right.
karate and
All right, here it is.
unless you're bullying people into buying
it's
houses.
self-defense.
All right. Let me explain how
Okay.
I saw Jason.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jason was doing a seminar out in an open area at a real estate office on how people should defend themselves in case during an open house.
Oh,
So I have a office there and a conference room, and I kept having to walk back and forth through the seminar.
you had to.
And Jason
I
kept
did.
kicking him.
No. Oh, even better. You'll like this. So I first come out of my room to go to the conference room, and I hear Jason said, all right, the best line of defense is to knee him in the groin. And they were trying to be very professional, and some of them kind of giggled a little bit, and I guess because the word groin was. So then I did it again. I came out of my office, and then all of a sudden it was almost like a militia was started. No longer was there giggling. After the fourth or fifth trip went from my office to the conference room,
They won them over.
they're all in line. They're starting to do kicks in unison.
And were they asking for you to be there?
Oh, yeah.
To be the dummy guy?
Sure,
kept getting kicked over and over
It
again?
was like a man-hater society. The 25 girls were at.
Did you do that, Jason?
I did.
Yeah, you were
I
Noah's.
did.
And am I right there? By the end of that
Well,
class.
They quickly realized that they take their safety for granted. Real estate agents, more than many other vocations, put themselves at a great amount of risk on a daily basis. They're meeting clients potentially in a vacant home with a client they haven't met before, they haven't vetted out yet. So we have a whole program to get them in line. A lot of it's a lot of common sense as far as if you're meeting a client for the first time, don't meet them at the house. At the appointment, meet them at the office. Try to get a snapshot of their picture of their license plate. It's hard to ask somebody for a driver's license, but if you can, ask them for that. Introduce them to a coworker at the office. That's why I like them to go there first. There's so many steps to take. Vacant homes are just such a dangerous place to be.
No, it's a great idea. So
Paint a bullseye on their groin.
Yep.
So,
That'd be a good one.
so if I was, if you were a real estate agent, and man or woman, of course,
Wow, right over.
And I
They did
called
nothing.
you.
They have their own show over
Nothing.
here.
and I called you to ask you to, I want you to list my house, you would invite me to your office for a sit down?
I suppose a listing's getting a listing's a little bit different of a situation because you're going to their home. But you could bring somebody with you.
Okay.
You could bring a fellow team member. You could bring a spouse. You could bring anybody you like. Especially, we'll get to open houses in a while too, because that presents a whole nother set of problems.
Right.
But a listing appointment, you can at least vet out today with the internet. You can go online and quickly find out, does that person really own that house? They could be a renter. The house,
Right.
there could be a bunch of situations there. But you can vet them out through social media today. I do that all the time. I own some income property, and I do that with potential tenants all the time. I go online as soon as, Jane Doe, I go on Jane Doe, Saugus Mass, Jane Doe arrested, Jane Doe this, I try to find things out, and it's amazing in 2 seconds.
So you do it for buyers and sellers.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and potential tenants.
Yeah. Tenants seem like the biggest, the supposed landlord who owns the property. And says, all right, meet me down here. You hear fraud and scams.
Oh, I know. I feel
all
it
the
makes
time,
me feel
especially
really
Craigslist and stuff
anxious.
like that.
Yeah, Craigslist.
Yeah, it's a very uneasy feeling. I don't like that first appointment. You should bring somebody with you. If it's a potential buyer, and you can meet them at your at your home office, I think that's the best thing to do. Where they're going to be able to meet other team members, maybe your boss or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's important. And then going over to open houses. You're a sitting duck. You're sitting there. I show up with a buddy of mine. I run upstairs. I start rifling through the bedroom, going through drawers, looking for jewelry, looking for pills, going into the medicine cabinet while I'm distracted. But I really feel that the real estate agent, especially at an open house, shouldn't really ever even leave the kitchen. Definitely not the first floor. No basements, no attics, no second floor.
That's a good point.
There's a whole bunch of safety tips. I mean, when you pull up, even as the real estate agent hosting the open house, you should park on the street, not in the driveway, in the direction that you're going to need to leave when it's time to leave. Never in the driveway. People say, why not in the driveway? Because I can pull up behind, and now I've just stopped you from leaving. You shouldn't bring your pocketbook in the house. I tell women this all the time. You should put it in your trunk, but not when you get to the open house. You need to do it when you leave your home. Throw it in there. Keep your phone in your hand. No super fancy jewelry. Hair preferably up, because it can be pulled, and it's a nasty thing once your hair starts getting pulled in a fight. And again, even with open houses, bring a team member. Bring a child. You have a teenage child. Bring them with you. Let them sit in the corner on an iPad. Who cares? There's somebody else there. Bring a spouse, significant other, mortgage broker. Bring a mortgage broker with you. I got an open house. I'm expecting 100 people through here in the next 2 days.
Yep.
Want to get some leads? Here you go. Bring the mortgage broker.
Yep.
The mortgage broker will be happy to go there.
Right.
It seems like the best weapons are in the kitchen anyway.
They really are, but they can also be used against you.
Right.
That's the problem. That block of knives in the corner, that you take that, put that under the sink,
Yeah.
But an island, I imagine, can be strategic.
Yep.
Keep yourself separated.
Start running around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you don't run around.
You run around.
But I don't do.
So you turn into butter.
So real estate agents, did they think of all this stuff?
Definitely not.
I don't think they do. Even if you tell them now, I wonder how many people took that from that class you're giving.
It's not about trying to scare people. It's about trying to make them aware, but they need to be scared a little bit,
Or anxious or nervous.
You got to pay attention. You get to the open house, you get to that listing appointment at night. I mean, I always tell everybody, try to do them during, daylight hours. You get there, you open the blinds, you open the shades, you turn every light in the house on. You don't know if somebody's walking through that house just, unlocking a door so that they can come back later and rob it, or if they're trying to, so they can shut lights off and attack you.
You had a good statement at the class, and it's funny. My father would always tell me this: accidents do not happen. You got to be aware of your surroundings.
100%.
Like if someone gets hit by a car going through a red light, my father's thought was, well, you should have been watching both, even if you're going through a green light.
Yep.
You should be watching on both sides in case someone is going. And I think you were trying to promote that thought.
You don't want to be paranoid, Rick, but you got to be aware. And so many people today, because we have our face buried in our phone all day, they're not paying attention to what's going around them. You have to pay attention to everything going on around you. There's just so many things.
I'm reading this book now. A CIA guy wrote it. It's very interesting, but he takes it to the nth degree. He just goes.
Well, he's super paranoid, right?
Super paranoid. So he goes into, and I think I heard you almost say it too. If he goes into a coffee shop, he goes into a corner, and he is always looking at the exit.
My back's always to the wall.
Exactly.
Always. That's an old mafia.
Really?
thing.
My back's
Always.
always to the wall.
Yeah.
You notice where I was sitting over there, right?
Yeah.
Know
Back to
where
the
the
wall,
exit.
looking in
Know where
So
the
I
exits
invite,
are.
I
And
invite Jason
back
to
to the
come
wall.
and sit, right? And I was kind of sitting in the corner, which wasn't a real bad place to
No,
sit, right? But
no,
it was
no.
probably preferable to
I wanted to
you.
know who's coming at
You
me.
wanted to
Right.
sit in that seat, maybe.
It's not about being paranoid. It's about being
And then
aware.
he took the chair
Oh,
and he
interesting.
turned it just a tiny bit.
That's
and
how
he
the
sat there. He could
CIA
see
agent
there.
is.
He could see there. He could see everywhere.
You're watching everybody. I go into a restaurant. The first thing I look at is an exit. And again, it's not about being paranoid. It's just car drives through that window. I want to know which way I got to go. Robber comes in. I want to know where I got to go.
So you do think that's how this guy, that's how this agent was.
Rick, it's not even. It's involuntary. I don't even think about it. Today I
It's
didn't think
because you
about
teach it.
Right. It's just I've been doing martial arts for 43 years, actively, no hiatuses, straight through. It's just who I am. It's part of my DNA.
I'm going to stop packing a gun.
There you go.
And you can. It's your right.
It's my right.
It's your right.
And that's an interesting statement because people ask me all the time. For real estate agents, should I get my license to carry? Should I carry a knife? Should I carry pepper spray? And all that is fine unless it gets taken away from you.
Right.
And then you're in trouble.
I've had my license to carry since I was 21 years old. I think I've carried a gun twice, other than going to the range or something, for a little sports shooting. I have no intention of shooting anybody, so I don't carry a gun. If you carry a gun, you have to have every intention that if you needed to, you would use it. Then you have to worry about a whole nother host of problems, and that's it being taken away from you.
Someone told me that once too. He owned a switchblade. He loved, and of course I get the switchblade. I'm just fiddling around with it. He goes, "I'll tell you one thing: never take that switchblade out unless you're intending to use it. If you take that out,
right? We call that presenting the weapon, and presenting the weapon that opens a whole host of problems. You're going to know I have a knife when it's stuck in you. Yeah. I'm not going to pull it to try to scare you because now if you have a gun, you have a machete, you have whatever in your back pocket, or a crazy friend with you.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, so I pull out the knife. I got the knife and I'm trying to scare you.
Because he's right.
And I got that knife and I'm ready to go at you.
Yeah.
And I don't have any intention of going at you. And I'm holding that blade. I'm presenting it to scare you. You don't present. You use. If I pull out pepper spray, it's because I'm pulling out and I'm going to spray you. If I pull a gun out, it's to shoot you.
How effective is the pepper spray? Is effective, obviously, it's cumbersome a little bit.
It's a catch-22 because you have to pull it out and you have to be effective. So if a woman is going to carry, or a man going to carry pepper spray, I recommend the keychain type because you can't be like, hold on, let me go get my pocketbook. It's in the trunk because I was told to put my pocketbook in the trunk.
Right.
I like the keychain because it's small.
So it's right on the keychain. You can get
it's right on the keychain. Again, you have to worry about that being taken and being used.
Used to you, on you. Right?
Worry about wind.
Yeah, you could become.
Believe it or not, you do.
Yeah,
be aware.
Because you could get it too.
Yeah, you really do.
Here's a good idea. Don't bathe and eat garlic.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah, keep people away from
Right.
So much for the open houses.
Well, boy, we'll go in the other room. All right.
Haven't sold a house in 6 months, but
you're kind of ripe.
So this is all scary stuff, right?
It is, and we live in a tough world right now.
the CIA agent, and I hate to keep going back to him, but he drives around. He has a little duffel bag in case the car's involved in flooding. So he's ready for it. He's got rope in it.
He might have some issues.
You got to read. I'll get you the book next time you see it. He's teaching you how to get out of handcuffs. He teaches you how to short a car to start it.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he's got everything. He says he's got his computer case is bulletproof. So
no kidding.
That's good.
He'll sit at that same corner you were, but he has that computer case, and if there's any shots being fired, it's a bulletproof. He's thought of almost everything.
For safety too, there's a couple different apps. Actually, there's a whole bunch of apps.
Actually, I was going to ask you about that.
There's one called Circle of Six that I really like. It's an app. It's a free app. Circle of Six. You can designate 6 people.
Yeah.
Like in your emergency circle of 6, but it doesn't have to be a panic call, 911. It could be a call interruption. Like you can pre-program it to say different things. Like, hey, do me a favor, give me a call right now, just because things are getting heated between us, and she just hit something on her phone. It's going to call her, and she'll be like, yeah. Safe words are important.
Or
have
also,
somebody from
if
your
you're
office.
going on like a date, like a Tinder date, or like
Yeah,
a like
no,
a,
you're right.
a,
You're
you
right.
know,
Oh, absolutely. People
Yeah,
put
this
you
is-
have
themselves
to
at great
tell
risk. Imagine
somebody.
meeting a stranger in a bar. It's just crazy today.
or online, right? And you can go meet.
Yeah,
for
I worry about the
coffee.
online stuff.
Or
Everyone's-
whatever.
There's,
You can call someone like, Rick, I'm going on a date tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
And this is the guy's
This is
phone
his profile,
number.
right?
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
No, you're right.
You know, we sound like just crazy old people now.
No, I
'Cause
know,
kids do
Tony.
this-
Oh, you
kids
gotta read.
do
You
this.
gotta read this book I'm reading.
Kids
I
do it
know.
routinely.
Circle of Six was actually created for college kids in date rape and stuff like that. That's why it doesn't alert the person that you did something. But the problem
It's timing.
is timing. The phone call's big. If you're going on an appointment and it's the first time showing the house, you can also be like, oh, I got someone coming in 15 minutes. You could have somebody come in 15 minutes. You could have somebody say, call me in 10 minutes.
Oh, my husband's in the car. Let me go tell him I'm going to
There's
be another
also,
10 minutes.
I think you're best. The most full. You got to bring someone else with you
In a perfect world,
because
yes.
you're not
But
going to
how
have.
many real estate agents
No,
say,
no.
Kathy, I'm going to work. Would you like to come with me to my
No,
work?
they should bring another agent with them.
I did a speaking engagement back in it was either in November or December for Leading Edge, and they had like annual meeting. They had like 150, 200 realtors there, and I was about 20 minutes early. I didn't hit any traffic on 128, so I was in the parking lot drinking my coffee, and I was actually enjoying the show. People pulling in Range Rovers, Mercedes, Lexuses, Infinities, one Bentley, and I was laughing. And everybody's so proud to show off their fruits of their
doing
labor.
well.
Yep.
They're doing well for themselves. But what message does that send to a potential perpetrator?
Attack me.
The jewelry. That's what I
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
I go, I said, you guys are wearing watches that cost more than my first car.
Right,
I said,
right.
you guys gotta, you gotta downplay it. You get the fancy jewelry, leave it at home. And I understand you're proud of that, and people should be proud of that. But there's a time and place for everything.
How about open houses? When we always say it on
Scare the
our
heck
show,
out
but
of
open houses, we always do tell people you got to get the guns out of the house. You got to get the medicine.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
obvious things, but I don't see it. Or
People aren't
personal or
smart,
private information. You'll see the people's bills sitting around the countertop.
Absolutely.
You got to get all.
well,
that
then they
stuff.
obviously didn't stage the house
That's
because you're not supposed to have piles of
Right.
stuff.
I sold my house back in July is when I closed and I moved to a different house. When I was selling my house, I went all through it, pulling everything out, personal pitches. I was
Yeah.
crazy about it because every house up to this point I've ever sold has been vacant or staged to sell, but never my own personal house. And it was, I didn't like the feeling. And my real estate agent, she's like, I don't want you at the open house. Scram.
Yeah, it is a yucky feeling.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Have people going in your house and potentially
Opening
going through your
closets
stuff.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, especially in your position, you probably felt a little defenseless that someone's walking through
I
your
didn't like
house.
it. But open houses, they put people in a very precarious situation. I went to one 2 weeks ago in Saugus, and I was amazed at the agent. I wanted to say something to her, but it wasn't really my place to. But she's following everybody around, and it was very busy, which for her safety was good. But she was walking all around the house with people. You got to stay first floor, stay there with your listing sheets and your sign-in
So
sheet.
you don't have anyone go to the second floor, nothing in the...
Never in the second floor, never in the basement.
Yeah.
If it's a client you're comfortable with and you're familiar with, that's a different story. First appointment or someone you're leery of, and I tell everybody, if you're getting a bad gut feeling, it's probably for a reason. Trust your gut.
How would you manage the people? Because if I was selling my house and my listing agent was having an open house, it's kind of her responsibility to make sure that nothing gets stolen and
Well,
nothing.
she can't be everywhere. She can't be everywhere. So if you're showing an 8-bedroom center entrance colonial, and she's in the kitchen signing people in, and like I said, especially people work in teams. Could be a husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, two buddies. And like I said, I'm rifling through the master bedroom, taking the drawers, just looking under the bed, whatever. Like you said, you have to declutter and you have to hide your valuables.
So how else do you vet that buyer? If you're a buyer agent, I know you go on social media.
Social media.
You
I like social
Google
media.
them, obviously.
Do your due diligence. Make sure
get
the story.
references.
Yeah, do your due diligence even with the buyer. Everybody sees. Everybody wants to sell a house. That's their goal. That's how they make their money. I get it, but your safety is first.
Especially with open houses, because you don't even know who's coming into those open houses.
That's what I'm saying.
They're just going to walk in.
I can sign in like John Hancock. I can sign whatever I want.
Right.
So it is tough. I don't like open houses on occupied homes, like my own house when I was selling it. But unfortunately, it's one of the best ways to sell them.
So yeah, you think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It gets people through the door. Definitely.
Because we've had some brokers.
It's a 50%.
Right, half say
of them,
yes.
Yeah.
The other half
of them
say, you know
no.
what? most people are seeing it online. You don't. You're going to sell the house way before any open house.
Why can't you ask for somebody's license before you go do it? Why can't you say to somebody, like, listen, hey, come to my office. I'm going to photocopy your license, and then we're going to go to the open house.
That's what I suggest. I suggest taking a picture of their license plate of whatever vehicle they're driving.
Yeah.
I mean, do they do that?
Could be borrowed. No, I don't think a lot of people do. I suggest you do that.
I mean, if you're renting a jet ski or a car, you're getting a license out.
Right.
We live in such a rushed world that it's like, okay, yep, I'll meet you at 5 o'clock, and you're pulling up. It's dusk. It's starting to get dark. You're walking in there.
You know what the other problem is your agent wants that sale. Unfortunately, they don't want to offend that buyer.
Of course.
Yeah, and you're 100% right with that, Rick.
So,
I was somewhere recently, and they asked me for my license, and I'm thinking, why do you need, it was at a salon, why do you need my license?
Really?
Like, you know what I mean? So, but I didn't, a
They
lot of
wanna make
people
sure it's
don't
your
have, a lot of people don't have it in them to say,
So you're
why do
too
you need my
logical.
license?
Right.
So they will just hand it over. So why wouldn't they ask for it?
And another thing you can do, too, is in your phone, everybody has an iPhone today, you can share your calendar with your office or a significant other or whoever, a child, doesn't matter. So somebody knows where you're at all the time, but you should not be going anywhere without somebody knowing that.
all right, so you said there's a couple.
Sorry. But I'm going to take it one step further. There's also a situation where I'm out with my friends and I decide I'm going to Uber home. I tell my friends I'm going to Uber home. One of my friends says, you better send me the profile, the Uber guy's profile.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Well, you got to get in the right car, too. So many people don't.
Well, you got to check
That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. But somebody
the license plate. It says it right on there.
I wait
says
for
the
them.
make,
I
model.
even wait for them. I took one home from the North End a couple weeks ago. It was pouring rain out. Trust me, I wanted to get in that car so fast. The driver put the door down. He's like, Jason. I go, yep. And
then you know that.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah, you hear more
And
and more.
I sit strategically in the car just like I do when I come up here.
Do you?
Right behind the driver. Yep.
Interesting. Yeah.
So you can pull the gun and shoot him.
I don't carry a gun, but it's funny. We have a little routine we do when we get in an Uber. I always get behind the driver.
Do you?
All right, good to know.
Because you do hear of Uber drivers not being the Uber
absolutely.
driver. You hear that a lot.
Or just being a rogue Uber driver.
Right.
You know?
Right.
People think I'm an Uber driver all the time.
Right.
I let them get in.
There's also
And you tell them jokes.
Yeah, get in.
cash sale only.
Yeah. Where are you going? I'm not going there.
Don't forget to give me a good grade.
Yeah, 5 stars.
5 stars.
There's also a line, Rick, of jewelry. It's called invisiwear. And the stuff is awesome. They make keychains, they make necklaces, they make bracelets. Same thing, similar to the Circle of 6. It has a panic button in it. And it's not like it's going to be going off if I bang my watch here and it's going to go off.
Okay.
It looks like regular jewelry, and it has a panic button in it. You hit it twice, it goes off. And it alerts whoever you want it to alert. You preset it up. It's brilliant. And the stuff looks great. Debbie Miller, who's a leading edge realtor, she added...
What's it called?
It's called invisiwear.
Okay.
Not Invisalign.
Not Invisalign.
Right,
I know.
right,
I confuse it. It's invisiwear, and the stuff is great. And you can set it up to alert whoever you want. I think
Now, does it? Yeah, I'm sorry.
You can make it call 911, I believe, as well too,
Okay.
and it'll give you GPS coordinates and everything. It must go to the home company, like to Invisiwear, then they call 911.
That
or
is
something.
really
But-
interesting.
But there's so many safety
Now,
apps today.
does it also buzz? I mean,
No, it doesn't
sometimes
give-
you don't have enough time to have that person.
Well, and that's a problem too, right? You call 911, it doesn't take long to slit your throat,
Right.
So
Right.
Ooh.
How long does it take?
I'm not.
let's try it.
I'm not leaving my house. You're scaring me, Jason.
When we were
I don't know.
when I was doing that seminar a couple weeks ago,
as us as teenagers, thinking about as teenagers.
Oh my God, we used to hitchhike.
I used to.
Mom, don't listen, but we used to hitchhike
from Amherst to Boston, Massachusetts.
We didn't
kidding.
care.
without a problem at all.
And then if I felt,
no, I did have problems, matter
but
of
if
fact,
we
so
felt
I should've-
sketchy, if it felt like a sketchy ride, we would just open the door.
I
and
had to do that
jump
once.
out.
The guy pulled right over. I jumped right out.
Yeah.
I hid in the woods. I said,
We talk about putting yourself at risk.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
But you didn't probably think twice about it.
Never.
No.
But that's
Just a different
30,
world.
40 years ago, right?
Right.
I know you don't, we don't
still-
look that old, but
You know what? The world was just as dangerous then. We just didn't know
That's
about
what I mean. Now social media. So, all right. So we have a new person coming in your class. How do you start the beginner?
So what I do is my karate program and my self-defense program are two completely different programs, because with karate the arc in learning is much different because it's a longer time frame. Someone comes in, I want to do one lesson. I want to do 12.
That's what I mean.
12 is what I recommend.
Yeah.
12 is like a 12-week course is what I would suggest to people. I can tell when someone wants to take the martial arts, they want to sign up for karate, they want to get the whole thing.
yeah.
then I understand I have a bunch of people that just want self-defense, and I reverse prioritize. I take with the most highly functional stuff right away. Then I kind of work backwards.
And that's what most people, like the real estate agents and people that work with the public, is probably what they're most interested in, because I think that the martial arts is more like a hobby.
It's a lifestyle. Well, it's a lifestyle. There's much more to it. So your time frame is much longer.
Yeah.
So I give them highly functional stuff right from the first.
So what do you
day.
tell them right off the bat?
Well, don't put yourself in those positions.
Oh, yes.
And I try to get everybody to understand, if there's one thing you leave here today, I don't want to fight anybody, and she doesn't want to fight anybody. You take a woman. She may actually.
You might want to point to somebody else.
You've just met her, so
I have friends that like to fight.
All right, in order of what to target, eyes, groin, knees.
Eyes, groin, knees, throat.
Okay.
Nose.
Eyes,
I like the nose
groin.
too.
All right, let's start with the eyes. What
eyes,
do you do?
and I can give you the answer because I listen to your class. Because the eyes, obviously, very sensitive, but the bridge of the nose also that area.
Right. So you get hit hard in the nose. Your eyes water. It bleeds. It hurts.
Yeah.
Disrupts your vision and everything. There's an inherent habit we have too. If you're bleeding, you always want to kind of take care of it. Nobody's bleeding and doesn't do anything about it. You're always trying to stop the bleeding, whether it's your nose, you get cut in the wrist.
Point. Yeah,
so people always want to tend to that. The eyes, because it disrupts your vision, and get out of there. Women that have nails, I'm like, scratch that face so that there's marks. So that
you have seen her fight.
So that you want to leave a mark if you can.
Yeah.
The groin, it takes a lot of fight out of you when you get hit hard in the groin.
Yes.
The knees, but
is it a knee to the groin
or
knee
to the groin or a kick?
Foot.
So if you're using a knee to the groin, you're already too close to them. I approach self-defense in two ways: safe and unsafe. Unsafe means you're using a knee strike. Safe, maybe you're using a kick. If you're able to strike me with a knee strike effectively, you're way too close to me.
What if I use my foot and they grab my foot?
Well, if you actually strike me with that kick, I'm not grabbing anything. And it's not like you're not...
Can you teach her to flip over like they do in the real martial arts?
The biggest thing is a lot of people don't strike with intent. You have to strike with intent. Once you decide, a switch has to go off and say, all right, I'm going to hit this guy as hard as I possibly can, as many times as I can, and I'm getting out of here. Your level of intent, you can't kind of hit someone. You have to hit them.
When you're scared and you have adrenaline flowing and you've made the decision to do what you're going to do to that person, you're going to do it with intent, I think.
It has to be done with intent.
Okay.
It has to be done with full level of intent.
Night in the ruts.
Right.
And, another thing, too, we say, as far as on listing appointments and stuff, too, I'm always looking around the room at what we call environmental weapons. I'll stab you with this pen. I'll stab you with your pen.
Yeah.
I'll hit you in the head with this cup. I'll throw this cup of coffee at you. I'm looking around.
Nasty paper cut.
I'm out of here.
Hey, I'll strangle you. I'll strangle you with this cord. I'll take this cord around your neck and strangle you. I'll take a chair and hit you in the head. You have to look at environmental weapons.
This place is a disaster. How could we sit here with all these weapons around?
I thought you were just doing an open house.
Insane.
Some of those
What happened?
ashtrays
Have this room cleared.
Someone give you a low ball offer? What happened here?
How'd you like to get hit in the head with an ashtray or a chair, a stanchion stand?
No, you had
but you have to
paper cut.
You start
paper cut.
You start looking around though at environmental weapons. What is here that I can hit with a stick, a broom? There's so many things.
And you probably teach them. My brother, he used to love to box, so he used to always
box or fight.
Both. I was trying to be polite.
All right.
There's still some statute of limitations.
He doesn't
involved.
listen to us, right?
But he used to always say, your weight is. So that's why you see like these small guys, or even in golf, it's their weight proportion. They're just.
It's mechanics.
Yeah, the mechanics of it. So
there's a lot to it. Listen, a 5-year, I have gotten hit in the groin in the last 43 years more by little kids, like me doing stuff with them. Like,
that's all they can reach.
And you know what? They're at the perfect height
right.
for it.
That's
Let me tell you
exactly
something.
right.
Sounds like the holidays at the Carters. I'll tell you that right now.
It doesn't take a lot. A 10-year-old could put you down on your knees, no problem.
Right.
Inherently,
So what are you doing? You're saying, "Hey kids, don't forget to kick you in the groin," and they do it.
We do these techniques. I'll be like, the kicks to the stomach, and they hit you in the groin. So
Let's bring it up a little bit.
Inherently, though, most attackers don't go after larger, stronger opponents. What do? They go after smaller, weaker opponents.
Right.
So. that's a problem too.
So we should gain more weight.
Take a 200. You take a 220-pound guy against a 125-pound woman. He has an inherent advantage. He's a Goliath compared to her.
Right.
How about a guy against 3 guys? What do you suggest on that? Oh, my brother used to have strategies on that.
Well, there are a bunch of strategies to give you your best odds. Mine is avoidance.
Oh, yeah.
That should be.
You should end it right there.
My karate school's right at a Rotary in Saugus Center, and I see arguments. I've seen fights. I've seen the ambulance have to come. I've had to see the cops have to come over the years, and I'm always like, you're on a 3,000-pound weapon. Why would you get out?
Right.
Why would you get out?
Right.
Okay.
And this was something too. This goes to everybody. And
that's
don't
a good
go
point.
out. Do not ever get out of your car unless you really want to fight. Because if you don't want to fight and you're just trying to scare someone, that's how you get beat up.
Right.
Don't
What
get
about
out of your car.
the guy on, was it 495 or 128 that jumped on the guy's car?
That was on the mass bike, right?
Yeah, the mass bike.
Yeah, oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the guy drove away, and the guy's on his
Yeah, I mean,
Only kidding. Let's call it a day.
Right. Sometimes testosterone and your temper gets the better of you. You got to keep that stuff in check. We live in a crazy world. In anything you do today, you have to assume it's being filmed. You have to assume it's being filmed.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Fights at schools, and kids come in all the time. Teenagers come in. Oh, there was a fight today. 2 girls are fighting. You want to see the fight? I'm like, So you just go, oh my God.
All right. Talking about keeping in check. Now, if I was a black belt karate expert for 43 years, and you go into the bars and you say, "Geez, I hope someone just picks on me today."
No, I never say. Listen, I never say that.
I know, and I was going to say you're probably the opposite of that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, right. I've been doing martial arts 43 years. I had a handful of scuffles as a teenager and a rambunctious teenager. I try to keep that in check.
Yeah.
We do self-control is one of the things we preach the most. That's probably the hardest. We have 5 rules in our studio, and that's self-control is one of them. And
all right, give us all 5 rules.
What are the other 4?
We're almost running out of time. This has been a good show.
Which obviously, try hard, etiquette, self-control.
Etiquette?
Etiquette, their manners and stuff.
Yeah. So
we try to be
bowing about to beat the crap out of the guy?
It's not, team sports and everything, Little League and hockey and everything, they're all important, and they all teach kids, teamwork and everything, and there's a lot of good values to be learned from team sports. Karate is very individual, though.
Mm-hmm.
Some kids aren't a team player. I wasn't a team player. I played organized sports when I was a little kid, but I liked karate because it was very individualized. I wasn't relying on anybody else to do anything. It was all 100% on me.
Yeah.
Little Johnny doesn't hit the ball. We lose the we lose the World Series. This was 100% on me. But my son is 17 years old. He's never been in a fight in his life. He's a second-degree black belt. He's been doing karate with me since he was 3.
Wow. Yeah.
I hope he goes his entire life and never has to use it. I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I said today, we live in such a world where everybody's lawsuit happy and everything's being recorded.
Yeah,
and ultimately, it doesn't solve anything. It might make you feel better, instant gratification, hitting somebody. But like I said, I hope I go the rest of my life and never have to use it.
I love that. I hate fighting.
Yeah, good for you.
I don't heal nearly as fast. I'm 50. I don't heal nearly as fast as I did at one time either.
I walked the lake yesterday. I'm exhausted still.
So Jason, I could talk to you for another
this show.
I could talk to you forever because I love hearing all the advice that you have to give us, just common people. So if we have any real estate agents listening, give me. You've already given a whole bunch, but give me the 5 most important things that they're going to do at their next open house or showing.
Don't go alone.
Okay. You guys listening?
Park a book in the trunk before you even get there.
Okay.
If you do happen to go there alone, make sure a bunch of people, your office and other people in your life know where you're at. Cell phone in your hand.
Okay.
Jewelry at home. Hair up, preferably.
Yeah.
Hair up, preferably, is a big one. And don't leave that kitchen area. I'm not saying you have to be glued to a bar stool in the kitchen, but you really got to stay on the first floor. Do not ever go in the basement. Do not ever go in the attic.
Okay.
Blinds up, curtains up, lights on.
Lights on, right.
Hire a bouncer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You could
have a doorman.
You could be doing your show.
Honestly, I tell people all the time, too. Ask one of your friends, hey, listen, I'm doing an open house from 12 to 2 today.
No, buy your lunch.
Swing by with a coffee from Starbucks, at 1 o'clock, halfway through it.
Right.
Just to have that activity in there.
Yeah, no, you're right. So you're going to you're coming to our seminar time. We'd love to have you do a full expanded seminar for our brokers.
Listen, I already have a plan.
Go ahead. What's your plan?
Our plan is we are going to invite all of our broker friends, male and female. We're going to go to your studio in Saugus Center, and we're going to learn how to defend ourselves.
Self-defense.
I don't know how long would one of those classes take?
Well, I like to teach like an hour and a half to 2 hour seminar. If it's a one-shot deal, if we're going to do a whole bunch of them, I like to do them. And you hit a saturation point where you're not going to remember anything after a certain point.
Right.
I hit it myself even when I take lessons still. So like an hour and a half for the first time is more than adequate. If you're going to do them repeatedly, an hour is good.
All right, so that's what we're going to do,
That's
I
awesome.
think. I think that would benefit all of our
Absolutely.
buds in the industry, and it could benefit us in our
Absolutely.
regular life.
Absolutely.
Because I don't feel safe at my work. I'll tell you that right now.
He never feels safe because he has...
You know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
he
Jason,
has
three
more of
man.
me.
He can't save you from a verbal tongue lashing.
Hey, I have a bone to pick with the two of you. Who told Christine she was me last week?
No, we said
Christine Hurley.
We said to imitate you since you usually imitate her.
You
That's
do
fair
her
enough.
lines, yeah.
And
she was doing
nailed
yours.
it. She
And she
nailed
goes, I hate you, and I quit.
Nailed it.
Yeah,
Am I right?
Perfect. She said it just like that,
I don't
too.
think you need to be on the
And
show
she had
anymore.
her little ponytail swinging
she's
all around.
twirling.
I was dying laughing.
I hate you and I quit. I go, you didn't practice that. You
Perfect.
nailed it. So, Jason, we really appreciate you. You want to give out your phone number
That was
for
great.
Saugus Karate?
Sure. We're on Facebook at Saugus Karate. We're on Instagram. We're at 304 Central Street in Saugus Center. My phone number is 781-233-9791.
Yes.
Did he make that up?
Perfect.
No,
Saugus-
that's his real number.
Saugus Karate at gmail.com is our email. We're pretty easy to find. Been around for 100 years. I've been teaching 33 years full-time, 6 days a week, and doing martial arts for 43. So we got a lot of good stuff going on.
I think this was a great show.
Yeah.
Very important.
It was
Very
a lot
I
of
want you to come back. Would you come back?
Absolutely.
We didn't scare you away?
No.
Absolutely not.
Yay!
Belt.
Yeah, he's not scared.
He can handle you. Well, maybe. I don't know. She does scratch. Look at her nails. Thanks for joining us in the Real Estate House Body. Appreciate Jason from Saugus Karate.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Kathy Holtshouser, Paralegal Extraordinaire, and the one and only Tony
Yeah.
D. Thanks for joining us.
See ya.
See ya. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.